some of our most exotic wildlife species are being threatened. Their fragile populations are being hunted. The red panda in Sikkim, the snow leopard in Ladakh, the black-necked crane in the Changthang Valley in Ladakh again, the Great Indian Bustard, and the chinkara, the state animal of Rajasthan. Only 150 of these individuals are left in the wild. All of them are being threatened. Who is this apex predator which is threatening this fragile wildlife ecosystem? Is it man, our usual suspect? Or is it someone who's on the top of the food chain, like the tiger? Let's dig further to find out. I've been to various parts of India and also the world to photograph birds. Kedarnath Wildlife Sanctuary, Chopta, Mandal, Sattal, Pangot, Ladakh, Corbett, and various parts of the world are where my travels have actually taken me. This time around, I planned a trip to Sikkim. Sikkim is again known for various exotic birds like the blood pheasant, the Himalayan monal, exotic subspecies like the fire-tailed sunbird, the red-billed leothrix, thrushes, the wood-eater flycatcher, and so on. One unique highlight that I was actually looking forward to on this trip was a rare sighting of the red panda. I was told the red panda was found in the vicinity of the Pangolakha Wildlife Sanctuary where I had been in Sikkim. But when I went there, I was told that most of the individuals of the red panda around the Pangolakha Wildlife Sanctuary were hunted down. Now, who was this apex hunter? Now, the apex predator in that area is a yellow-throated marten, and we checked with our mentor whether it was indeed the yellow-throated marten that had hunted the red panda. But that was not the case. The red panda was hunted by the same species that has actually been creating havoc in Ladakh, Spiti, and various parts of the country. It was dogs. Now, don't get me wrong, I love wild animals and I love dogs. My entire life revolves around Oscar, who's not even my pet, I almost treat him like a son, and who has me wrapped around his little paw. But in this episode of Deep Dive with Sangram, I'm going to tell you about a human-made disaster in the making for our fragile wildlife. So we should actually find out how is it that man's best friend has actually become one of the most feared predators in our fragile wildlife ecosystem, and what roles have we as humans played to actually make this happen. Let's examine this further as to what happened in places like Ladakh and Spiti and so many other parts of the country. But before that, a few facts. The total population of dogs in the world is 1 billion, which indirectly means that there's one dog for almost 8 to 9 humans in the world. This is second only to sheep, goats, cows, and rats. Now, sheep, goat, and cows are basically bred by humans for consumption. Now, as far as I know, dogs are not a part of our staple diet. And of course, I'm not talking of exceptional countries like China and Southeast Asia, where this practice is pretty much prevalent. But by and large, human beings do not consume dogs. So this figure of 1 billion is unusually high. Even in India, the population of dogs is about 60 million. And they reached this kind of a population because of their unique bond with humans, which began 15,000 years ago when wolves started coming near human encampments. Human beings, for some reason, found wolves to be very friendly, and slowly a social bond began to develop between humans and wolves. The more bolder ones came even closer, and they slowly started becoming domesticated. Now, thanks to natural selection and human interaction, these wolves slowly became the domesticated dogs that we have amongst our midst. As of today, more than 400 species of dogs exist in our world. And a lot of these species don't even resemble their original ancestors, the wolves. Dogs increase in population because they always get love, affection, and support from humans. We all love our pets. We don't even call them pets. We ourselves are called pet parents, and we call them our sons and daughters. I've seen so much love for dogs in our homes. But why homes? Dogs generally get a lot of love in our society. Even when they're on the streets, they are fed by restaurants, either by restaurant owners or they are fed by customers who come to those restaurants. If not, societies adopt them. And in every gully, there is always some pet owner who will go out of his way to feed all the streeties in that particular lane. And exactly the same thing happens in a place like Ladakh or Sikkim. These places are tourist hubs. So obviously, where there are tourists, there are tons of hotels. And outside every hotel, there are dogs. So when you go to a tourist place like Ladakh or Sikkim, and when you go to the hotel, you're obviously welcomed by dogs. And as tourists, we love to take our pictures with them and of course post them on Instagram. They make for cute selfies. But most of these places are in cold climates, and the tourist season is largely in summers. So what happens when the tourist season ends? Well, the tourists go back, the hotels shut down, and their owners come down to warmer places. What happens to the dogs? Unfortunately, the dogs stay behind. And the same dogs that have been fed by humans for such a long time during the season now are left to fend on their own. And hence they rely on that one skill that had enabled their ancestors to survive since times immemorial, and which is the strength of the pack. So these dogs get together and go out in the wild and hunt for food. Now places like Ladakh and Sikkim do not have big apex predators like the tiger. Many of the wildlife species found in Ladakh and Sikkim are weaker in the pecking order. When I say weaker, they are weaker in terms of their hunting skills, like the red panda. The red panda is an animal found on trees. It's very shy and it's very slow to move. The red panda can be an easy victim to a pack of dogs. And so is a bird like the blood pheasant. Now the blood pheasant is also an exotic bird found in Ladakh as well as in Sikkim. Blood pheasants have lost their fear of humans because it's people like us, photographers, who go to these habitats to actually photograph birds like the blood pheasant. They have discovered over a period of time that humans mean no harm to them, and which is why they dare to now venture closer to the dogs. And it's exactly this access that becomes beneficial to a pack of hungry dogs. Dogs typically hunt in packs of 25. Now in those kind of numbers, even an apex predator like the yellow-throated marten can become a victim to dogs. Dogs have hunted nilgais. They have also hunted apex predators like the snow leopard. Now slowly this phenomena was no longer restricted only to winters. The hunts had now become habitual. Now the dogs had discovered a new strength, their ability to hunt in packs. So feral dogs, or free-ranging dogs as they are called, stay in the villages during the day but gang up with the pack at night and go out in the wild to hunt for food. And here comes the scary part. These attacks have spread to humans. In Ladakh and also in Spiti, there are reports of packs of dogs mauling and even killing humans. Right from old women to children, dog attacks have become a fairly commonplace, especially in the main markets of Ladakh. If you ever go to Ladakh, you'll find several people warning you not to step out at night in certain areas which are infested with dogs. So today, dogs are attacking wild asses, snow leopards, blue sheep, ibex, black-necked cranes in Ladakh. They're attacking the red panda, blood pheasants, musk deer and the pika in Sikkim. In Rajasthan, they are the largest predators for the chinkara and the Great Indian Bustards and even the nilgai. And in other areas, they are going after otters, turtles and big birds. Dogs are a known and potential threat to 188 threatened species in the wild. These include 96 mammals, 78 bird, 22 reptile and 3 amphibian species. These include 30 critically endangered species, 2 of which are classified as possibly extinct. The unintended consequences of human kindness have turned our best friends into some of the most feared predators that are upsetting the entire balance in the fragile wildlife ecosystem. So what is the solution, you may ask? So it all boils down to controlling the population of dogs. So is sterilization the right solution? Well, it is, but sterilization takes a long time to implement. Also, sterilization requires a lot of funds and a lot of these places do not have the funding in place. Places like Ladakh have experimented with this, but it's not got the desired results. Secondly, to sterilize, you actually need to capture these dogs in the first place. And it's very, very difficult to capture these dogs once they start running into the wilds, thanks to the abundant lands around each of these places. The second solution, which a lot of experts are also proposing, is to cut their access to foods, which basically means a lot of the food that gets wasted from restaurants, especially from army canteens in each of these areas, should be disposed of in a safe way. The third potential solution is rehabilitation. But rehabilitation also requires funds and it's more easier said than done. And lastly, any harsh actions against dogs are always opposed by animal lovers. I, for one, would naturally be opposed to any harsh measures, although I recognize how grave the problem is. As a wildlife photographer, in all my conversations with fellow conservationists, I have not found a single solution that looks like a panacea for this problem. We all love dogs, but it's equally important to extend our compassion to other animals in the ecosystem who are being hunted mercilessly by packs of wild dogs. I do not know what the solution is, but if you do know of any innovative solutions to this problem, please put your comments in the comments box for this video. Also, when we are feeding dogs, it's extremely important to remember that we need to be responsible and avoid this behavior. Please like and share this video if you love wildlife and if you love dogs. Because the more people are aware, you'll have more participants in terms of solutioning for this very difficult problem. On that difficult note, signing off for today from one more episode of Deep Dive with Sangram. See you next week.